Yeah, hi there. These comments are for YXG, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. You are also one of my students in the English language program at California State University, San Bernardino. I'm going to listen to your integrated speaking practice test number 1 now.
The reading passage and dialogue state 2 examples of how advertising affects people's behavior. The reading passage point out that advertising had an apparent influence of people's behaviors in modern society. Then, the reading passage gives an example of how advertising works in politicals. It says,
in political ways, or how advertising affects people's behavior politically. So you had some trouble with that. Now, I'm not quite getting your introduction here. Let me listen to it one more time. You want to state the main point of the reading and the listening passage in the beginning, right? It's kind of taking you too long to do that. It's like 23 seconds into your response, and you're still not quite at your details. But let me listen to it one more time.
the reading passage and dialogue state 2 examples of how advertising affects people's behavior.
I don't think it's just stating 2 examples. I mean, they're explaining how advertising affects people's behavior politically and economically. That's the key.
That advertising had an apparent influence of people's behaviors in modern society. Then, the reading passage gives an example of how advertising works in politicals.
In political
It
ways.
says TV commercials and billboards as 2 ways of advertising affect people
go back,
to
hold
vote.
on.
It's an example of how advertising works in politicals. It says TV commercials and billboards as 2 ways of
You're not quite pronouncing that. Say are 2 ways. So your subject is plural, your verb needs to be plural.
advertising affect people to vote certain candidates.
To vote for certain candidates.
Then, the speaker in dialogue gives an example of how advertising affects people's behavior in economic field.
I would just say how it affects people's behavior economically, not just an economic field. That's a little bit awkward how you said that. And also, don't forget your third person S, how advertising affects. So you have to put that S in there.
The speaker says, when customers see and
When a consumer or when consumers
dialogue gives an example of how advertising affects people's behavior in economic field. The speaker says, when customers see an advertising of a brand of toothpaste, they will have a chance to buy this brand of toothpaste.
Okay.
In the end, the speaker sums up that customers should pay more attention to how the products work. In conclusion, the reading passage and listening material point out how advertising affects people's behaviors in political and economic ways.
Good, that's good. Adjective there. Okay, so let's take a look here. So, speaking, it's tough for you right now. You're not quite natural. You're sometimes stumbling with either putting your verb in there or using the correct word form. For example, using an adjective or using a noun. So you had some problems with language use. You also had some problems with your delivery. And even with topic development, you had a little bit awkward how you began the speech. You could be more concise in how you do that. So to be really concise, you could say, the reading and the listening passage discuss the political and the economic effects of advertising. That takes about 5 seconds. Then just say, first of all, according to the reading passage, advertising has political effects on people. And then you give your example or 2 there. Second of all, according to the listening passage, advertising has economic effects on the consumer. Then you can give an example there to support that, and you should be in pretty good shape. So On this one, I think because of some language use issues, some delivery issues, and some problems with topic development, I'm going to put you in the 2 range. So I'm going to put you at about 2.1 out of 6, 2.16 out of 4, I should say. That puts you at 17 points out of 30 for this practice test. Now, for the purposes of our TOEFL class, okay, let's take a look at the rubrics here. So 2.16, that's going to put you at 75% on this particular assignment. So speaking is a little bit difficult for you right now. So go through the pronunciation area in my course. I think that's a great start. That's going to help you become more familiar with the vowels, the consonants, and all the other areas important to helping you speak more naturally. So complete all those lessons. I highly recommend for you. It'll take some time, but go through and complete those lessons that will help you to speak more clearly.